the, the massive, get this right, the massive distribution of narcotics in the inner city, our inner cities have basically been gutted. For no better way. If you go, you can go from, from New York, Maine. I don't think there's too many of us in Maine, but you can go from Maine to Florida to the tip of Texas to San Francisco. You go wherever. Wherever there's large groups of us or even small groups of us, there is a massive distribution of narcotics that is more readily available than milk, sugar, bread, diapers. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, wherever we live. The direct result of that has caused our inner cities to look like somebody's dropped a bomb in them. If you go to any inner city in this country, the streets, now these are streets, these streets represent the elements that are at work in the inner city. These streets represent single-parent households, which we became single parents because when our families were whole, Patrick Moynihan decided that our women in the inner city didn't need to have husbands because they had to pick between a husband and a welfare check. When those factory jobs shut down and those coal mine, all those jobs that this nation used for their economy, when those jobs shut down, left and went overseas, our inner cities were left with families. Those were families left without work. That wasn't just some make-believe area at work. Those were whole communities and families left without jobs. Those jobs went across seas. The inner city was broke. There were no jobs. Women or families had to apply for public assistance. Women were told, if you have a husband, you can't have this check to feed your family, pay your rent. Men were told, if you want this family to get support, you can't be in that household. That element separated poor people in their families in a way that we are still struggling with today. So those jobs left the inner city, they went overseas, and what replaced the jobs were single-parent streets, dropout streets, because, people were school wasn't offering no way out. Everybody wasn't going to college. Everybody still ain't going to college. Many of our children are going, but contrary to popular belief, this nation does not support every single person going to college. Because if it did, we'd all be there. We'd all have college educations. So don't be confused. No, only a small group of people actually get to college and graduate. I'm saying that because it took me, I was 35 years old when I got there, and I watched people drop out every semester, and I knew every semester it was only God's grace that I was still there. So know that. You can go and you can make it through, but you got to take God with you. You got to be prayed up, shored up, like you have never been before if you're going to graduate. So that's just a word from the wise. Don't throw it away. If you can't use it now, hold on to it. You'll use it later. But Dropout Street, Gang Street, we know that our young men, this nation needed federal monies to work in the inner cities, so they used words like gang to get money so they could do something about the crime that was going on. Now, nobody ever said, well, let's just stop importing dope from Colombia and Peru and Bolivia to the inner city, and we won't have no crime. No, I still ain't heard nobody say that yet. But anyway, our cities are being depleted by the distribution of drugs and guns in our neighborhood, by the lack of employment. Unemployment street, it's causing selfishness. A drug addiction is a very selfish thing to have. If you got one, go get you some help for it so you don't be so selfish. Because it damages you, it damages your community, it damages your family, it damages every fiber in you. And don't be confused. Yes, you're hurt, yes, you're in pain, but don't build a life on that. If you're having a problem with drugs, go get yourself some help. And do not give yourself permission to pick up the drugs again. That's the only way you can deal with a drug problem. Don't be selfish. Don't lie to yourself. get yourself some help and make a commitment to not destroy yourself. Now, we'll do another series on substance abuse and drug addiction because we got a lot to talk about there, because that's what's killing our neighborhoods. There was a period that I was saying because of the gangs and the his drug boulevard, and you see drug boulevard, unemployment, selfish way, welfare circle, hate street, envy lane, welfare circle, homelessness, jealousy, HIV, promiscuous. All of these streets run through drug boulevard because all of these streets have a direct correlation to substance abuse. You have to be snowed out of your mind to damage yourself in a way that you can in the inner city if you're using drugs. I happened to be a teenager in San Francisco during the 60s and in 67 when the hippie explosion came and marijuana was the thing to do, and I used to tell my parents I was going to Golden Gate Park on a field trip. Well, I used to be at the rock concerts at Golden Gate Park with everybody else smoking marijuana, drinking wine, you know. The Summer of Love, y'all remember that? Well, that very experience was the groundbreaking event that opened up the cesspool we have today in the inner city.